Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us today on the Entrepreneurs in Action, the nuts and bolts of leadership. And I'm super excited, as always, to come and share different ideas, thoughts, things that I hope will trigger something in you to unlock the next level of success for you. So that's what these sessions are about. We do them every single week, and they're at the same time, same link. And you can catch the replays on YouTube. So just plug into these, and you never know what golden nuggets might be revealed for you to tap into. And I want to share something today that's quite relevant to what's going on in the world. And that is, I want to talk about how do you differentiate yourself in a market that is so active with the, let's say, below average level of opportunities. Let's just say that. So you have a lot of options out there, and I'll be very honest, I would say 99% of everything that you will be pitched in this current world will be rotten at the core. And it's, to be honest, it is almost impossible to ever really know. It really is almost impossible to ever really know. However, there are some really, really obvious giveaway signs on the ones that are obvious. And luckily, most of them are obvious. I'd say out of the 99% that are scams, I'd say probably 95% of them can be spotted 10 miles away, thankfully for us. So when you decide to become a professional in the industry, one of the things that we must start to do is have a tick box of what criteria must be met so that we know that we're doing something that is sustainable. Well, that'd be one of the criteria, you know, like know your numbers, know your maths. Is it sustainable? Do the sustainability tests on what it is that you're doing. That will be a very quick giveaway. How do you work out if something is sustainable? Well, look at the cash flow. One of the things, and I might be going a little bit deep, and I don't want to lose people, but if you are already there, then you'll kind of catch it. And if you don't worry about it. You'll work your way up there anyway. But it's not just about the money coming in, the money coming out. That's the basic maths of every business on the planet. There's money that comes through the front door, and then there's money that goes out of the back door. If I look at my retail career in my early years, I knew that if I bought X amount of stock and I sold it for Y, then I would need to take the X back out of that sales price, go back to the cash and carry and replace that stock. And what was left over was not mine. Again, another myth that a lot of people think. No, what was left over, which we call the gross profits. What are the expenses that come out of that? What are the taxes? What are the VAT implications? What are the the goods that are stolen out of the shop? What goods are damaged? You know, there's a whole bunch of stuff that you got to get through. How much of that money is used on marketing, on advertising, on raising awareness? What are the other expenses outside of the obvious fixed expenses like rents and electricity and whatnot? You know, things like things that break down that need replacing, repairs. All of those extra numbers need to be accounted for. So you've got the gross income, and then you have something called a net income. And just see that, you know, the company that you are evaluating or in has healthy numbers and can sustain over time. Very, very important. All right. Now, you might say, hold on, Facebook isn't sustainable. And you'd be right, it isn't at all. Well, wasn't, I should say, is now. But Facebook took years to become sustainable. But they had outside money coming in. So it wasn't money through the front door in the retail sense, but it was money through investors. So still something is funding the growth of that business. What is it that's funding something? So you need to have a look and that needs to be transparent. Like, where is the money coming from to fund the growth and the marketing and the marketeers, right? So if you're a professional network marketer, you're getting paid to market the products and services of a company that you're associated with, right? So they're paying you out of somewhere. That's got to be budgeted, right? Where is it coming from? Is it external investors that are doing that? If it is, who are they? Where are those numbers? How visible are they? If it's just from turnover, from sales, from profits, then where are those figures? How profitable is the company? These kind of things you can start looking at. They're the easy things to get hold of if owners are real and genuine, all right? And then that's another thing. Look at the owners, all right? Who are they? Who are the people that are making the decisions? What is their track record? What is their history? And again, nothing is evidence of how they're going to behave in the future. We all know that. However, it does improve the odds. Like if you know that somebody is mostly successful in things that they do. For example, if Elon Musk or Richard Branson were launching a network marketing arm, and by the way, Richard Branson did have a network marketing arm, and even that failed. But the odds of it succeeding were much higher than if it wasn't Richard Branson, all right? But he had a network marketing arm that sold, I think if I remember correctly, it was Virgin Makeup. Yeah, so he was in the beauty industry, and he had his own arm of products and services. Now, it didn't work out for even Richard Branson. That's what I mean about the bit about we never really know, but we can do some checks. So, for example, if you knew, who else can I think of? If you knew Bernie Madoff was launching a network marketing company, it might give you a different feeling as to, what the intentions might be and how trustworthy and transparent the ownership might be. You get my point, right? So get a feel. I often like to meet the owners myself, right? And get what I call a sixth sense, right? A gut instinct. A lot of it is that. And like I said, it's not always right, but oftentimes it is. Oftentimes it is, right? You know, oftentimes, like some people are just so not on point or resonating at the frequency that you would like to be resonating at. But then, yeah, the numbers. So the owners, the numbers, and then the other thing you want to look at is the trend, the timing of the trend. All right. So what trends is the company operating in, and where in that trend are they? Are they at the, have they been in, if a trend has been going for 10 years, how long have they been in that trend? Are they newcomers to the party, or have they got experience in that trend already? Have they been doing some background work, and have they already got some ticks on their the right boxes? Have they had some successes, some wins, produced some stuff that's working, that's actually adding value, making a difference in the world, real measurable products or services? All right. There was a company that launched recently product and doing really well in the country that it launched this health product in, but hasn't gone international yet. For example, they've been in a country for many years doing huge amounts of turnover, but they haven't expanded their wings outside of that country. Have the management team got the experience to make that happen? Who have they brought in? Specialists with that experience to make that happen. I have seen more product companies fail at launching international markets than I have seen succeed at launching international markets. Just because you know how to do something really well in your country does not mean you know how to do it really well in another country. When it comes to physical products, for example, there are different laws, different regulations, different bodies that you need to approach that need to approve your products, different taxes, different shipping mechanisms. There's all sorts, right? And I've seen both sides of the fence. I've been, consulting in the industry for many years as well. So, the number of things that are unexpected, if you like, challenges that you may never have had in your own market and suddenly pop up in new markets. So again, are the management, so not just the owner, but has the owner got the right management team around him or her so that they can make decisions based on experience rather than having to learn as they go along, which is a much more painful journey and a much riskier journey. So these are just some of the things, right, that I'm touching on. If, for example, you're looking at digital products, study the industry of those digital products. and find out as much as you can about the industry you're getting into. Don't just jump in blind, because again, we as professional networkers, we are putting our names and reputations and brands on the line. Every time we promote something, it's us that goes out there and promotes it, right? That's what we get paid for. And if we do it well, we get paid handsomely for it. So it's worth learning how to do that well, because it pays very, very well. But again, make sure that it fits with your values, what's important to you, what's integrous to you. Everyone's different, right? There's no, it's not about trying to fit your thing on everyone else. It's about deciding what it is for you. I was talking to a friend earlier today. He was pitching me the latest scam, and I pointed out that it was a scam, and he started laughing and said, yeah, but I'm all right with it, because everyone I know, they like these kind of deals. And I thought, there's another philosophy to have, right? And he's totally comfortable doing that. He says, listen, I tell all of my guys that this is a short-term deal, and to expect it to go pop, not to know, and nobody knows when. And if they can get in and out and get their money out and make a few quid, so be it. I'm like, okay, well, that's where he's at in his journey. And one of the things I'm always practicing is not to make that wrong, not to, because everyone's different. And so I'm like, okay, well, if he's come to terms with it inside of himself to do that, who am I to say you shouldn't be doing that? Do you know what I mean? So no, he's fine doing it, and so are the people that he works with. So be it. So that's why I went back to what's important to you. Know that, right? What is important to you? What are your I'll never cross that line moments? What are the things that that you'll never do this because of this? All right. So for example, you may have, if we talk about products, I will never sell a product that I know may be harmful to humans or harmful to animals even. I don't, everyone's got different things that they need to have ticked off, right? I won't ever sell a product that's been tested on animals. People have different stuff. If you're going to work in the digital space, I will never sell a product that I know is short term. Could be one of your philosophies, one of your values, one of the things that's uncompromisable for you. Doesn't have to be, by the way. It could be. I think the more you love and respect and appreciate your profession, then you can get more protective of it, for sure. I just have to catch myself out every time I see people that I have an affinity for, that I might have known for a long time, and I see them promoting stuff that they know is going to hurt people. And I measure sometimes their decisions by my standards. And that's also not clever, because then I'll just end up falling out with all of my friends that I've known for 20 years, right? So again, understanding who you are in the game and understanding that everyone is going to be at a different level in their own game, all right? I suppose maybe you could look at it like sports. So football, right? I'll use football as an analogy, not that I follow football at all, but over the years growing up in England, you can't avoid it 100%. And so, I know the basics, I know the fundamentals, and I do enjoy watching. The only football I enjoy watching is World Cup football. I find that quite entertaining. So again, if we look at football, why do I bring that up as an analogy? I often think, right, you've got players that are, and I'm not going to name them just in case somebody sees the video and goes, oh, you can't say that about me. But my point is, you've got players that are rated the creme de la creme, the top of the pile. They get paid 7 figures a week and some 7 figures a day to do what they do. They're that freaking awesome. And then they'll get on the pitch and I'll see them blatantly kicking somebody in the shins with their studs on purpose, or headbutting somebody, or elbowing somebody's nose. And you can see it's so obviously done on purpose. And you sit there and go, what's that all about? But that's what their values are. Whoever they are and wherever they are, they can be really skilled, really great, and they're okay elbowing their opponent in the nose, knowing it's completely illegal to do that. They're okay going with both studs straight for the groin. They have no issue with that. They're okay with using their hand and pushing it into the goal to score. That's where they're at, right? So what I'm saying is everyone's got, they're in different places. You just need to decide, where are you at with your game? And then at what level you want to play your game, right? So for me, it's a lifelong passion 28 years full time. I've committed to it back then, and I'll stay with it till the day, either till the day I die or the day a better model is invented. And as I often say, and everyone's heard me say that, network marketing is by far, in my opinion, the most efficient, effective, and mass market way for an ordinary person to produce extraordinary results. It just is, right? Like minimum in, maximum out with blood, sweat, and tears. All right. And there's all of that. There's lots of blood, sweat, and tears along the way. But for a couple of £100 you can get started. You can learn a ton of skills that nobody else will teach you for a couple of £100. And if you get really good at those skills, your couple of hundred could be worth a couple of hundred a day to you. It could be worth a couple of £100K a year to you, right? And in exceptional scenarios, a couple of £100K a month to you, right? So my point is that all of those stories are available for just a couple of $100 start. And the blood, sweat, and tears, the hours, the getting yourself in, leaning into the system, putting yourself through the eye of the needle, through the center of the storm, doing the drills that you have to do on a daily basis, which are by no means easy. They are simple. They are not easy. Again, big distinction. All right. They are simple. The reason they're not easy is because as humans, we take things personally, and that's the journey. All right. The to-dos are easy. I always say that. What you need to master is so simple, not easy. Simple. All right. Learn to invite, learn to present, learn to follow up, learn to close the deal, learn to teach, learn to train, learn to duplicate, learn the plan, learn the product, learn to speak efficiently and fluently and influently, influently, if that's even a word, influently. I made that one up as well. But learn the things that give you the edge. And then the battle is mental. It's how quickly can you let go of what you already know about yourself and replace it with what you didn't know about yourself. All right. I often replace people's language. Oh, Kalps, you can do that, but I can't. I'm shy. Well, first of all, don't say can't, because you've already blocked any possibility, and don't label yourself into a small box called shy. You're not shy. You've just trained yourself to be a certain way for so long that outside of that is fear. And that's exactly where growth exists, right? Growth exists in fear. There's no growth where there's no fear. Really simple. It's a simple science. If there's no fear, there is no growth. All right. It means you're operating in your comfort zone. It means you're operating what's familiar to you, and what is familiar to you is comfortable, is not going to have you push yourself. All right. So it's perfectly normal to say I'm shy. Cool. Identify that, and then realize you're not shy. You've practiced being a certain way for a long time in certain scenarios, and now it's about practicing something new. And guess what? Every shy person I have ever known in my entire life, in some area of their life where they're confident, is not shy. In that area of their life, they shine, they step up, they step forward, they get things done. So people that label themselves shy, get them to identify areas of their life where they're not. All right. People that are shy sometimes get on the dance floor and knock it out of the ballpark. Do you know what I mean? It's like there's all these different scenarios that people have in their life. So same with network marketing. When people join this beautiful industry, they will put in front of them what is fearful to them. And it will show up that nobody says, look, I'm scared, I'm scared, I'm scared. Nobody walks around the world going, oh, I'm really scared. What they do is they put things in front of them that show outsiders that they're scared. So people that understand people that have trained themselves in reading people can see a million miles away when somebody's scared. All right. Some of the most noisy, loud people that I meet are scared shitless because I can read people. And all of the noise is just covering up their fear. Oftentimes, not always, but oftentimes, more often than not. More often than not, some of the loudest, out there in your face people are doing all of that to cover up a ton of fear, all right, and a ton of inauthenticity, and a ton of out of integrity, and a ton of all of the stuff that they're dealing with. And how they deal with it is, I'm not shy. Who are you calling shy? Step outside. Right? Those, you get a lot of that as well, right? It's like, No. It's not about stepping outside. It's about using our intellect and not our brawn. Let's have a conversation about this. Why are you so triggered? What are you so fearful of? It's understanding that there's a growth to be had for everybody, and network marketing brings that out in you. It gives you the opportunity to take it on. Take on the areas of your life that you have accepted to be, this is how I am, and know that you're not. All right. The beautiful thing is, when you take on an area of your life that limits you, you've always got it there as a default to go back to anytime you want to. So there are times when it's useful. All right. There are times, look, shyness in a certain scenario, and I'm not talking about shy like you just sit there looking at your lap and not speaking to anyone, but a kind of, again, everything has different levels to it. A kind of shyness in a relationship can be really attractive. It's kind of an innocentness, a kind of naivety approach, a way of being in a relationship where you're really that open that you expose yourself to, risks that outsiders might say, what the hell would you do that for? But you know what? You have to do that to experience more in that scenario. You got to become more vulnerable to experience vulnerability, if that makes sense. All right. So we need all of the things that are available in this thing called life at different times of our life. So at times it makes sense to keep quiet, sit in the back and just listen and observe in a business meeting. You don't have to be the one that's standing in front of the head of the table, shouting, slamming your hand on the table, making a big noise and a hoo-ha. And there'll be a time when you do need to be that person as well. Imagine if you could do both. Imagine if you knew how to step aside, sit quietly and just listen, observe, and pick up more than all the people that were asking questions and talking and making noise. Happens often. I love being quiet in a room and listening, observing, and learning. I love doing that oftentimes. And then that is useless if I walk into a room where I'm leading. All right. If I sat down and I just was quiet and observing and looking and being a little bit shy or a little bit, out of the way, of no use to anyone that's waiting for somebody to step up and, get animated and slam their hand on the table to create some energy, to create some motivation, to create some rah-rah. There's times and places for everything. So again, know that you are not any one thing, you are everything. And there are many things that you haven't practiced often, and so they're unfamiliar. Don't fear them. You can be as loud and as brash as anyone you've ever met if you train yourself to, and then when the time for that arises and is needed. All right. So, understand the range of emotions and befriend all of them. Befriend all of the personality types that you see in others. If people trigger you, see if you can find a way to befriend that, because that gives you more power. The most influential people on the planet are able to connect with the widest range of people on the planet. Are you with me? The most influential people on the planet are very flexible, very accommodating, very fluid-like, very easy for them to transition from one personality, one type, if you like, of person to another, and make the majority feel comfortable with them. So when do people feel comfortable with you the most? Two things, when you are most comfortable yourself and are able to then make them feel comfortable in your presence. That's called what? Charisma. Charismatic people feel good about themselves, but also are able to make other people around them feel good about themselves. Arrogant people feel good about themselves and are not very good at making the people around them feel very good about themselves. Do you see the difference? It's a fine line between arrogance and charismatic, all right? They're all a lot of the same ingredients, and then strip some of the other ingredients. If you don't know what to strip out, what to keep at a point in time, then you make a mess of that interaction, all right? So, there are times where you need to raise your voice a little bit to be understood. And there are times when you need to lower your voice a little bit to be understood. So all of these are skills you'll learn, worth learning, network marketing is the only place that I've seen over the years that pays you to learn them. All right. Most other places charge you to learn them. Here, you get all of this training for free. Why? Because we are interacting with people every single day. You get trainings like this for free. People pay for these kind of trainings outside of network marketing. In network marketing, you've got leaders that love sharing everything that they've experienced and learned and pass it on, because it just makes the whole community stronger. It raises the vibration of the people around them, and it just all around good stuff, right? I always say that's like, if we can leave the world a better place than it was when we came into it, then we all win. And so for me, network marketing does that when done in a professional manner. And thank you, Santos, for the acknowledgement and appreciation. I'm glad that you're vibing on that as well. But for me, is that right? When you do it in a certain way, and it can be done that way. I've been doing it for 28 years that way. When you do it from a place of wanting to make a difference, wanting to help, wanting to contribute, wanting to elevate, wanting to impact, when you bring that to the conversation, then that's what we do. And individually, we can make a little bit of difference. Collectively, we can make a huge difference. And so, don't let your fear have you play small when you've got everything it takes to play bigger. All right. And you don't have to play biggest straight away. It's a journey, but play bigger than you do. And if you play a little bit bigger tomorrow than you did today, and a little bit bigger next week than you did last week, and a little bit bigger next month than you did the month before, and you're consistent with that, even with the smallest amount of improvements and the maximum amount of consistency, because consistency is where the improvement will happen, exponentially over time. So what looks like you're not growing, but if you're showing up enough, at some point, pop, there's a magic moment, and you'll look back and go, blimmin' hell, I'm a different human being than I was 6 months ago. I'm a different person than I was 12 months ago. I think differently, I speak differently, I walk differently, I talk differently, I move differently, I connect differently, I relate to the world differently. Everything shifts. Doesn't happen overnight. Sometimes we get frustrated because it's taken too long. Stay the course. Let it take as long as it takes you. Like I said, we're all different. Some people are ready to change instantly. Others are not so ready, but are committed to. All right. So if you're committed to, then you'll stay the course and you will become ready to, all right? However long it takes you to become ready to. And, that's the process, right? The process of transformation. So that's what network marketing is for me. It's the ability to get through all of those different ranges for yourself, so you can then empathize, understand, connect with others where they are in their journey, and not beat them up, not make them wrong, not separate yourself, not make a distance and push them away, but rather bring them in and see how you can influence the whole dynamics of the entire community for the better. So that's me done. I hope you've enjoyed that little, whatever that was. I don't even know what it was. It was something. I started off talking about how to evaluate a really great opportunity, and I end up on something else. And that's how it goes sometimes. There you go. I'd love to hear from the community. If you want to throw in your little bit of experience to the mix, if you want to share any part of that you enjoyed that I've just shared, or anything else about your journey, or if you want to ask anything about your journey in network marketing. It is a generic and independent training, this open to all around the world from any opportunity, any product service range. So if you're here, you're new, you want to introduce yourself, you can do that. If you're already with us and you've got something you want to ask me about your journey, feel free to do that. The floor is yours. Let's just raise your hand. There you go. Woodley, how are we doing, brother? Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Yes.
Hey, how are you, champ?
Yeah, I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Yes, I don't have much to say than to, thank you for this, your time. Yeah, you mentioned it in this presentation that if it's in other industries, I know how much all of us will be paying to listen to you. Yes, yeah. And I thank God that we are getting it free. And people like us that knows the value, we don't miss it. Yes. And what I'm working on is that God will help us to make all our team members to be turning up for this meeting, because personally, I know how far I am motivated in this journey, with these few minutes we spend every week. So I look up to it, because Amazing. Every day you always say something that is in line, because it will try to improve. Most times, some of us will try to improve. We might not be seeing the immediate results. We say, oh, I hope sure we are we are getting this right. But you mentioned that one day, anytime soon, we see it boom, and it will happen. That means we keep moving on.
Absolutely.
So
Beautiful.
I'm just trying to express how good, and to let our leaders here to know that the journey is not always a very easy journey. There's some time you would think, oh, I hope we are moving forward. But once we attend this kind of meetings, we get the power to move on for the next coming days. So
Yes.
I encourage our leaders here, let us try. It's not easy to pull all other leaders, to take these Wednesdays few minutes very, very serious. That's just the little contribution I have. Thank you, Kepash, for this time.
Absolutely beautiful. And thank you so much for, number one, always being present and always adding value, as you always do. Thank you so much. John, how are you, my friend?
Kalpesh, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Hi.
Yes, thank you very much. Fantastic training as always, and
Yes,
also
buddy.
for taking the time out of your busy schedule to give us some of your time and some of your wise nuggets as well, and just sharing that love and that information to help us on our journey. But just reflecting on some of the things that you mentioned there, going to the very first subject that you wandered off from, but assessing. Well, Billy Connolly does that as well, but that's another story. Yeah, these Ponzi schemes, they are, I get hit up every single week about something or other. I'm just not interested. I'm an advocate of cleaning up the industry, educating people.
Thank you.
Because that's what we need. There's just, it was a wild west, and you've got people who enter into a business world, because the $200 or $300 that it costs to get started is a blessing, and it is also a curse, because we attract the wrong kind of people. And you've got somebody who has no clue about business or setting goals or anything, teaching people how to become successful. It just doesn't work. So that's where a lot of that bad vibes comes from. But I think, me personally, you said it was simple, but it's not easy. The not easy part is us standing on our own way. It's the little things like consistency and persistency and staying on track and moving the needle each day. All these things that we're supposed to do, but we don't, because the world is full of distractions, and it's easy to just pop on YouTube or check your mobile or your Facebook and stuff.
I always say that the most beautiful thing about this industry is that we get to work with humans, and the worst thing about this industry is that we have to work with humans.
That's true. So I just wanted to make that small contribution here. I know your time's valuable, so I will end on that note, and thank you very much.
Thank you, buddy. Always a pleasure. And again, I'm loving just having you contribute, adding your beautiful wisdom as well. And I love what you said there, like standing for something, right? Like everybody could promote everything. We could all just, not worry about stuff like that and say, yeah, let's just promote everything. But when you start to evolve a little bit more beyond that, then you start adding value to the industry rather than taking value away from it. And I know you are adding huge value, John, to this industry. So thank you. And then from one John to another, how we doing, buddy?
Hello, fantastic.
Hey.
Yeah, I only actually got on at 7:29, I think, because my missus took a breath. Yeah, my missus took a breath, and after starting talking at 6:30, so it's like, oh, cool, I can get on for the last minute. But I just want to say that I got the email to say I won the phone.
Boom! Come on.
So I'm just like, it's just
congratulations.
I thought it was below it, so I just want to say thank you, because doing this every week, even though I only got the last minute, but it's the energy. I just want to thank you. It's helped me stay focused, of being consistent in what I do. And consistency is bringing the first part of the 13% in. So you need to be consistent, because then when the 13% hit, the other 800 people that you contact and they're ignoring you will eventually start to see the light, and then they'll come to you. That's the way I see it. So thank you. And I got a phone.
Amazing. I love it. Congratulations. And thank you for, see what I mean? Thank you for jumping in on minute 29. Because, I bet there are 9 out of 10 people out there that will think, oh, I've missed the first chunk of it. I've missed most of it. Why bother logging in? And for me, it says more that you logged in knowing you were 29 minutes out than not bothering. That is, like, for me, that kind of captures all of it, right? Like being aware that you've missed a chunk and still stepping and saying, hey, listen, raise your hand. You could have just snuck in and snuck back out, but no, you came in, you raise your hand, you acknowledge that you come in late, but you're also acknowledging that even coming in adds value. And for me, that kind of captures a whole bunch of stuff there that's just like precious. Like, yes.
Yeah,
So
because
thank you. Love it.
Yeah, so just quickly, leaders always have something to teach as well. So with the little bit, it's like I may have missed what it's about, but I get to say a bit, and it helps me feel better because I've got it out to people who understand. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, my friend. And that is called integrity. Next, we have Santos. How are you, buddy? Go ahead and unmute.
Hey, I'm working on super fantastic, terrific, over the top, and I appreciate what you said. I appreciate what we're doing as a community. Two quick things that I think are vital. You talked about transparency and leadership, individuals. We all have a past. I'm a content creator on YouTube, very small community. I do share my past, but I really don't want people to open all up. Anyways, it's done and over with. So I had to overcome that with this program. And it was fairly easy though, because I've known Tom from years back. I've watched him in videos, but I've never met him personally. And I picked up on his character. When I jumped into this thing, I knew that there was something different about this. Of course, we've had, the naysayers and the individuals that they can run this business better than all of us from the outside, but they're not willing to get on the inside to really see what makes this thing happen. So I really appreciate you for that. And then the other thing is, also that helped me was looking at this thing and following, doing my due diligence, which was very short. I didn't feel that I needed to do a whole lot of that, but following my inner guide. So when you're secure inside, it doesn't matter because you see the vision of the leadership. And I think that's what's important for me. That was a major breakthrough that I had about a week ago, because I got hit hard when I came into this with a lot of stuff that was out there on the internet, but I did my due diligence and I found out, there's always two sides to the coin. So people can talk all they want, but okay, that's one-sided. What's the other side? Let me check this guy out. Let me see what's on his side. And I'm very grateful for the transparency that we have back there with the press releases and Tom and of yourself. I'm not sure. I think I might have seen you years ago in a video. So I kind of recognize you a little bit. So yeah, I know that you're out there doing some great things. So at least I believe we're in the right place at the right time. And, I guess, like I told myself, I'm going to ride this thing till the wheels fall off because I don't have anything else to do. I think everything else out there is muddied. There's no real transparency in it. And again, there is no guarantee like we say, but if you do your due diligence, I'm pretty sure that we are going somewhere. So that's my piece. I'm really grateful, excited to be here. Yeah.
Thank you.
Excited.
Absolutely lovely. And thank you for your energy and enthusiasm as well. Absolutely perfect. Next, we have the Satoshi Soldier. How are you, buddy? Go ahead and unmute.
Hey, how's it going, Kalpesh?
Wonderful. Thank you. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say, appreciate everything you do. Your trainings are very, very valuable, and I appreciate it. I just wanted you to know that.
Oh, bless. That's it. Thank you. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. I want to appreciate all of you for being here and showing up and contributing and adding value. And even if you didn't get to share today, you still add value by being here, because if you weren't here, it'd just be me and a couple of guys talking to each other. And, it's the extra participants that make the difference. We're going to be back here next week. We always are. So I look forward to catching you on the same link. Share the link. Let people know. Every Wednesday, we do this. We get together, we huddle, and we support the industry. And we teach about the industry.